May peace be upon you and a very good morning. I would like to bid to Dr. Mark and to the honorable audiences who are here today. My name is Awang Yusri and together with my group mates Jun So Yang, Ling Gon Chin, Syed Salman Mansoor, we are going to present to you about Maybank. Before we venture deeper into our presentation, allow me to enlighten the lot of you on the contents of our presentation. Our presentation consists of 5 parts. The first part is the introduction, followed by the economic policy, the policy options, SWOT analysis, and finally the recommendations. Nowadays, banking industry is changing rapidly. The increasing of deregulation and globalization and the operating environment for banking industry is expected to become more dynamic and competitive. In today's presentation, we are going to focus on one of the largest banks in ASEAN, which is Maybank. Maybank was founded in 31st May 1960 by Ko Tek Kwan. Back in 1960, Maybank was also known as the Coffee Shop Bank as it inhabited most of the shop lots that were once a coffee shop or were located near to one, with the humble beginning of which transactions were done manually with books and typewriters. Maybank has grown to become one of the most predominant banks in Southeast Asia. The heart of Maybank may be in Malaysia, but its home has grown into Asia and beyond over the years. Today, the Maybank Group operates over 2,200 branches and offices in 20 countries worldwide. As Southeast Asia's fifth largest bank by assets, Maybank is the only ASEAN bank with an on-ground operations in all 10 ASEAN nations. With a deep understanding of ASEAN markets, Maybank is well positioned to connect clients to and from this region with the rest of the world. Maybank's mission of humanizing financial services is clearly demonstrated through its commitment to ensure easy access to all financing for all, provide fair terms and pricing, advising customers based on their needs and being at the heart of the community. The group remains steadfast in its efforts to ensure the sustainability of its operations as well as that of the communities it serves. This is not only through efforts to finance economic development and the provision of modern financial services, but also through innovative community programs that impact the lives of the marginalized members of society. The Maybank Foundation, its regional arm to undertake corporate responsibility initiatives, is supported by keen involvement of employee volunteers and remains a major vehicle for the group to positively impact many of Asia's most needy communities in an effort to build a better tomorrow for all. That's what it says. Do the right thing, leave no one behind, serve as a force for good. The group has extensive expertise in a wide area of financial service, which includes commercial banking, investment banking, stockbroking, insurance and takaful, Islamic banking, offshore banking, and many more. This enables it to offer a wide array of products and financial solutions to meet the needs of any customer segment, whether retail, SME, or multinational. Maybank has long been acknowledged for its innovation, leadership, and excellence and has received numerous awards in recognition of the high standards it employs. The bank is also acknowledged for its financial strength, being ranked among the top 100 banks in the world. The group's Islamic banking arm, Maybank Islamic Berhad, is recognized as one of the global leaders in its field and ranks as the leading Islamic bank in Asia Pacific and among the top 5 in the world in terms of assets. Although Maybank is one of the biggest banks in ASEAN, It was not easy for it to accomplish such feat because often time they will have matters such as economic policy which would hamper its efforts in achieving its targets. Hence, our group decided to come up with the problem statement of how economic policy affected Maybank in their quest to become one of the largest banks in ASEAN. To begin, an economic policy is a course of action that is intended to influence or control the behavior of the economy. Economic policies are typically implemented and administered by the government. Examples of economic policies include government spending and taxation. An example of economic policy that may affect Maybank is the government imposing interest rate. It shows that interest rates and bank profitability are connected, with banks benefiting from higher interest rates. When interest rates are higher, banks make more money by taking advantage of the difference between the interest banks pay to customers and the interest the bank can earn by investing. A stronger economy means more consumers seek loans, helping banks as they benefit from the difference between the interest they charge investors for the loan and the amount they earn by investing that money. Malaysia has increased its interest rates by 0.25 percentage points from 2.25% to an annual rate of 2.5%. The key rate is a tool used by central banks to implement monetary policy. An increase in interest rates is used to slow down inflation and protect the currency. Higher interest rates and inflation are anticipated to weigh on personal consumption expenditure due to higher borrowing costs and prices for consumer goods. With the increase of rates, bank portfolios of Maybank could become less valuable. When this happens, investors would not want to invest in Maybank. This is so because bonds and interest rates have an inverse relationship. Bonds compete against each other on the interest income they provide. When interest rates go up, new bonds come up with a higher rate and provide more income. But fixed rate bond issuers can't increase their rates to the same level as the new issue bonds when rates go up in order to stay attractive. Thus, the only way to increase competitiveness and attract new investors is to reduce the bond price. That is all from me. I will pass the mic to Sun Yang.
Thank you, Yusri. Then I'm Sun Young. Now I'm going to present transformation of Maybank to become a player in the international banking sectors. So, Maybank has transformed itself from a medium-sized bank into one of the largest and profitable banks in Asia through a series of international expansions. The combination of factors such as low economic growth after the Asian financial crisis, mounting competition at its home market, and the liberalization of banking sector has driven the company seek opportunities in neighboring countries in the Asian region. So, what is physical distance? Physical distance is the bigger expansion in the countries that are similar to home and more friendly. Currently, it has operation in Singapore, Myanmar, and Cambodia. This is in line with the theory of physical distance, in which a company initiates international activities by focusing on penetrating the markets of countries that are physically close to its home country. These countries have minimal differences to the home country in terms of language, education, culture, and so on. The gradual accumulation of knowledge, experience, and confidence that allow the company to venture further into countries that are more physically distant. The purpose of this approach is to reduce uncertainty and risk. So, what is the economic policies example? There are two. First is interest rate, and the second is capital buffer. For interest rate, it's a part of aggressive expansion plan. The economy has set a target of 40% of pre-tax profit derived from its international business operation by 2015. In its operation of internationalization, is to contend with various economic factors in this country, particularly economic policies that have been put in place by the government. For instance, the decision of the central bank to lower interest rate might compel the Maybank to enter a country because it will be able to obtain funds with lower interest, thereby reducing its cost. While for capital buffer, also, the very implementation of capital buffer among different countries to ensure the solvency of banks in periods of financial stress might influence the decision of the bank to set up its operation. As different regimes have distinct blueprints to manage their countries, Maybank has to come up with a customer strategy to be able to operate effectively and efficiently. And now I'm going to present banking sector post-Asian financial crisis in 1997. The Malaysian banking sector has been significantly altered due to the effects that consolidation had on competition and market dynamic after the Asian financial crisis in 1997. Malaysian banks have started to substantially increase their international presence thanks to the loosening of regulation by Malaysian government. The importance of the research on these phenomena is a deeper understanding of the internalization process that organizations in developing countries have undergone. There is a lack of systematic study being done on the internalization of firms in the service industry, particularly banking. Therefore, the overseas expansion process conducted by Maybank, the largest financial institution in Malaysia, has been studied to identify the reason underlying its success and lessons that can be gathered for the benefits of other banks. So, what is the reason? First, the alternative of the Asian financial include slow economic growth. The underdeveloped Malaysian financial market also becomes saturated and less attractive. Being aware of this overdependence on its domestic market and the need to reduce it, Maybank sought to spread out its operation and business risks. This is what accomplished through exploring new growth opportunities and more attractive investment overseas. For reputation as market seeker, Maybank has established its reputation as a market seeker by setting up operations in major financial hubs, such as the United States of America and the United Kingdom. However, it remained prudent in this unfamiliar environment by conducting financial activities through smaller representative officials. Now, I'm going past the continuous slide to Gong Qing.
Hello, my name is Salman, and I will be talking about the critical review and I will be evaluating the economics of IB literature that Maybank operates in. Thank you, Gongchen, for giving us your insights. So, first of all, international business focuses on the economic activities all over the national borders. The most important ones are foreign investments and trade. Foreign investments has been reached from three viewpoints, whereas trade theories still fall under the purview of economics. Secondly, Maybank operates in a mixed economy. So mixed economies fall between free markets and command economies. So by separating the functions of government and the private sector, a mixed economic system enables capitalism and socialism to coexist and function. As a result, Maybank has the freedom to conduct business as usual while being subject to governmental regulations. Thirdly, Maybank, being one of the best international banks, has implemented some of the vital economic characteristics to stay at the top. They keep check on the consumer demands and the economic stability, inflation, and the policies, economic policies as well. Next, I will talk about the SWOT analysis of Maybank. So, SWOT analysis can assist Maybank in focusing on its strengths and opportunities while addressing its weaknesses and threats in order to improve its market position. Let us begin the Maybank SWOT analysis by looking at the key aspect of its business that gave it a competitive advantage in the market. So firstly, the strengths. The bank strengths include Maybank being the largest bank in Malaysia in terms of branch count. They have a customer base of more than 21 million, and they also have a presence in 17 countries around the world. If we talk about the weaknesses, the banking operations are focused in and around Malaysia and Singapore, hence very limited global penetration. If we talk about the opportunities, there are very high opportunity to grow in investment banking in Hong Kong, and growth in internet banking will increase the customers base. And lastly, if we talk about the threats that Maybanks face, is the biggest threat that Maybank face is the change in economic policies in Southeast Asian countries that will definitely affect the bank quite significantly. Now I will talk about the competitors of Maybank. So there are several brands in the market which are competing for the same set of customers. I will be discussing about two competitors, namely Public Bank and CIMB Bank, Sim Bank. Public Bank Berhad has been one of the Maybank's top competitor. It's a private company and it was founded in Kuala Lumpur. Sim Bank is the biggest rival of Maybank. It was founded in 1924 and its headquarters is in Kuala Lumpur as well. Next, I will be talking about some suggestions. So, Maybank should always look for steps in order to stay at the top and be the best performing bank. So, here are just a few steps that Maybank should do in order to enhance themselves. So Maybank should equip the employees with the right resources so they don't find it hard to deal with the customers. And Maybank also needs to embrace financial technology like exploring advances in mobile payment using biometrics and using voice identification and eye scanning as well to just increase the security and to integrate the systems and to convert the old data to new formats. Thank you so much. This will be all from me, and I will pass the mic to Awang so he can conclude the assignment.
In conclusion, there are many economic factors that can hamper Maybank efforts into becoming the leading bank in ASEAN. However, we believe that Maybank is more than capable to overcome those challenges as it has solid framework and strategies to achieve its goals in becoming the leading bank in ASEAN.